We were able to like triple the tool life in the same application in heat-resistant alloys, like super alloys, very hard material to machine. But we were able to like quadruple their tool life, which basically gave them accessibility of not buying a machine.
Wow.
We saved them enough money because we could produce what we needed to produce with their existing machines. We saved them nearly $1 million on not buying another machine.
You know, Dan, I'm here today with you, and I'm hearing a buzz everywhere. The conversations that are being had on this booth about your technology is truly inspiring, and I love that because the manufacturing world needs inspiring conversations, and CERATIZIT is a leader at that. So the conversation that I'd like to have with the audience today and with you today is the past, the present, and the future of CERATIZIT, because it's not always been what we see today, and it may not be that way in a few years as we're looking to go greener and more sustainable. But let's start with the past. I believe two companies merged together to create this awesomeness we see today.
Yeah, absolutely, and thanks, Tony, for being here, number one, and we enjoy having you in our booth. But to your point, back in 1931, Cera Metal was part of one organization, and CERATIZIT was the other. In 2002, those two companies combined to be CERATIZIT, as we see it today. But Cera Metal was an organization that was primary wear parts utilized in metalworking and all types of other areas. And then CERATIZIT was more of the powder, the raw material. So those two companies came together, ultimately have a company called CERATIZIT that's more cutting tools, finished goods, go to market as a finished product to our end user.
CERATIZIT, first of all, is a fun word to say.
Yes.
And it has the letters that make it sound fun when the companies come together. But I'd like to talk about, if it's okay with you, 1931. I mean, we're darn near close to 100 years of being in business.
Yes.
I can only imagine the amount of wisdom and dedication and technology that's gone into since 1931 to create what we're looking at today around all of these tables that we have here.
Yeah, for sure. Right now we have 200 people in R&D.
Wow.
And that's the knowledge, the expert, the ability for understanding metallurgy, powder, substrate makeup, all the stuff that we've learned from 1931 all the way to today. But we're living in the present, obviously, but really I think we were built from the past with those two companies, and we're excited about what's going to happen next.
So let's talk some about the present. Now, you mentioned 200 people in the R&D side.
Yep.
I want to go over how many SKUs you have. I want to go over some of the products that really change the lives of machine shops, some of your most significant products, the way that the audience right now can connect with you, Dan, and go, wow, I needed to know that because I needed that in my machine shop. Would you mind going over some of those things that are happening currently today as well? Yeah,
we have 65,000 SKUs. We have a brand strategy, which we have 4 main brands, Comet being the whole making side of it. Comet was a prominent US-based organization that reamers, solid carbide, indexable tools, boring tools, those type things. Clink was another acquisition that we made, and it's aerospace frame, diamond-coated drills to go into skins, composite skins for aircraft. Really exciting for that part of it. We see ride in aircraft all day long, and we make those parts, so it's pretty cool.
Very cool.
Then W&T is a prominent Europe organization that was more distribution that we bought, and ultimately they have solid carbide, high-speed steel, taps, threading, those type things. And then the main umbrella CERATIZIT is more of turning, indexable milling, traditional type products that pick and ship, and is available either in our Kempton office in Europe or in Towanda, Pennsylvania in our distribution center.
Dan, I heard several acquisitions.
Yes.
And my curiosity, as I always want to be and participate as an audience member wanting to learn more, is it because you want to create kind of a one-stop shop, a solution for as many people as you can and as many diverse industries as you can, these acquisitions kind of come together. So when someone calls you and says, hey Dan, I need some help, you can go, hey buddy, we got your solution.
Yeah, exactly. We're filling the gap, basically. Buying an organization that has capabilities and competencies that we don't have, that only gives us the opportunity to reach out to more customers, more end users to solve more problems, those type things. And you asked me about some key products that are differentiators for our end users. We're heavy in automotive. So in this big transition from going from traditional combustion engines to now EVs.
Yes, sir.
We have a 3D printed tool today that we manufacture in Europe that goes into a stator housing that creates all these different bores, different types of finishes, all those things, and you could not do that with a traditional tool. So, leaning towards the future a little bit, the fact of the matter is we have those 200 people that are developing tools for the future that ultimately are here today because we're trying to machine those parts for our customers. So really cool.
That is, I keep hearing, and sharing as well, but keep hearing all of these really creative projects that come from additive manufacturing. From simple things like, I don't need soft jaws anymore, I can 3D print them, to
right.
what you just described, to as simple as I bought one for my house because I'm 3D printing my plates and my forks.
Right.
And that goes into the green and sustainability thing of the future as well. I would like to take this opportunity, if you have a story, Dan, a significant story or your favorite story when working with CERATIZIT, with your customers, as you've worked in many different areas. You can focus on automotive, you can focus in aerospace, medical, because you guys are everywhere. Everywhere I look, I see CERATIZIT, right?
Right.
Do you have a really great or favorite story? Maybe it could be your first success story, it could be something recent that you would like to share with the audience to go, look, this customer's having a real problem. They invested in CERATIZIT. This is what we were able to do for them.
Yeah, I think there's two. I'll pick the most prominent one is solid carbide end milling. We were able to utilize our substrate, our coatings, which is the dragon skin coating, and we need to talk about it at some point.
Great branding, by the way.
Exactly. But we were able to triple the tool life in the same application in heat-resistant alloys, like super alloys, very hard material to machine. But we were able to quadruple their tool life, which basically gave them accessibility of not buying a machine.
Wow.
We saved them enough money because we could produce what we needed to produce with their existing machines. We saved them nearly $1 million on not buying another machine. So,
and I apologize for interrupting, but I get excited about this, Dan.
Yeah.
But was the investment of the second machine because they couldn't keep up with the production?
Exactly.
And very cool.
Yeah, so we were able to save them from buying another machine because keeping up with the throughput on their existing machine, because we made it faster, longer tool life, all those type things. So yeah, between the technology that we had in substrate and the dragon skin technology coating, we were able to give them that extra time that they didn't have to buy another machine. So
again, great branding. For those of you watching, that is the magic of cutting tools. Think about that. Just think for a second before we run to buy a machine or whatever it might be, because there's so many different avenues from coolant and cutting tools and work holding where we can navigate exactly what you just described.
Yep.
And maybe there's a machine coming in the future. Don't get me wrong, we want that as well, right? But the ability to have 3 times that savings is incredible. So let's move into the future a little bit as well, Dan, because the future is some of what we've talked about already. We've talked a little bit about the green. We've talked about, well, if I can invest in that cutting tool and I don't have to buy 3 times as many, I'm saving money, I'm saving the overall cost of everything that goes into that. So what does the future look like for CERATIZIT?
So I'll give you a little bit of a circle of life as it comes to cutting tools and how that relates to our future.
I'm singing Lion King in my head right now, thanks to you saying Circle of Life. Sorry guys, I'm not going to sing it for you today, but yes, Circle of Life.
I can't sing either. But mine to market is our kind of tagline, right? So we own the mines. We own the process in which we get the ore and get the, get the raw material out of the ground. We manufacture semi-finished goods. We have the powder, all the things that you would normally have for the finished product to get to the end user. We now have the last part, which is the recycling side, which is the sustainability side, which is the green side. If we can gather up 98% of recycled carbide and use that in our product today in as 100% quality, purity, all those things, then we're saving a lot of things we're pulling out of the ground. We're reusing our products that we sell every day. And we can do it with anybody's carbide. So we own a company called GTP in Towanda, Pennsylvania. They take all the carbide sludge from grinding, all those type things. They grind it all the way down to the raw material. They put it back into ATP, which is tungsten carbide, and then sell it to all the either our internal people or our external people. from either powder or rod. So, you know, sustainability is huge for us. Our board is very active in wanting to, you know, from a European standpoint and hopefully in the U.S., as we talked about earlier, you know, influencing people to be more green. Our pledge is to be net zero in 2040. So you talk about the future, we want to be the leader, kind of carrying the flag, if you will, in the market, being a good citizen of the earth and the community. So,
Dan, thank you for doing that, first of all. Secondly, for the audience out there watching, I don't know, and I brought this up to Dan before we even hit the record button today, but we have this conversation a lot where the stereotype or the understanding, and hopefully we're incorrect in thinking this, is the green conversations, the sustainability conversations are more for the European markets. And how do we market, or how do we open up to conversation here in the U.S. as well, right?
Yep.
Dan and I were talking about this. I've had this conversation easily 20 times off camera with companies around the world, and we talk about the profitability that goes into being green and sustainable. But I'd also just like to say, since we have this moment together, Dan, is that let's care more about the recycling here in the U.S. as well. I just want to take that moment on my soapbox to say that.
Sure.
But there is a lot of profitability to it. If you have any questions, comments, the website is right behind us, CERATIZIT.com. You can give my buddy Dan a call. Super, super nice guy. Leave questions, thoughts, concerns in the comment section below, and we will be happy to help you and send you over to my buddy Dan here. Best smile in the industry, this guy right here. Past, present, and future. This is CERATIZIT. Dan, thank you so much, my friend.
Enjoyed it.